So, let's go pin badges. There he is. He is completed. Oh no. Look at that. Yeah, most likely. See? Ivy's sword. Look at that. Hello everyone. Good day. Hello. Hi hi. And welcome to my this morning's or this evening's stream. Morning, depending where you are. AV, how you doing? Hope you're alright. Hope all is well. So I know I've got a model view right now, just because it was just starting. So anyway. But yeah, so today we are going to continue with the build of the PGU Bazooka. It's basically I'm taking measurements from a MG 3.0 Bazooka and then making my own design and then plugging those and going to up the scale of them so I can make a PG. So if we go to Chrome View, here we go. So the last couple of streams we made these two here. Oh, I say two, these three. But yeah, so to the rest of tonight or this evening, we are going to try and finish it off. We've got these pieces left to do. This is not so much important, but I will be using this as a temporary thing because I need to make one to go on the back of a PGU skirt where it normally sits, just in case someone wants that as an option. But as I've made these three pieces here, I have also been putting them together into one model, as you can see here. So that if someone, say, just wants to print it as one piece, if you've got a printer big enough, you don't have to faff around gluing things together. It just comes out as one piece. Some bits will be separate, like the pistol grips, they'll be separate. Same with this piece. But the rest of it will be one piece. So yeah. So I'm trying to make it so you've got multiple options to this. Anyway, that's enough about what we're doing. Let's get on with it. And hello everyone else who's here with me today and me. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're getting along fine. I don't have a primer, but I know a printer. I know a good friend with a printer. He's awesome. I hope he's a good friend. Doesn't charge you too much, I hope. So yeah, just taking a quick drink. So I've got the model view here, so you can see me taking measurements basically while I build in real time. And I thought this would be a treat for everyone to see the process of using Tinkercad. If you don't know what Tinkercad is, it is a free CAD software which you can use to make different types of experiments, as well as CAD CAM programs and stuff like that, as well as circuitry. It's more of a educational thing, but I've been using it a lot to make my 3D prints, such as these cogs, which are to go on the main spline of a vinyl player, which helps with the automated return of the arm, and this aerial eyes, so you can print them out in clear resin so you can do light up eyes instead, which I'm going to do the rest of the aerials, bits people want to light up, so do that at some point. Seems reasonable versus the inferior competition. That's good to hear. So what we're going to start with next is the magazine. So all these technically are rockets for the bazooka. So a self-propelled projectile. So we're going to make the magazine to go over back here. And as, like I said before, as I'm 3D printing it, I don't need to make this little tag here. If you can't see this little tag, I don't need to make that. Because I'm 3D printing, I can just 3D print it and then do a pin. Just pin it together with glue and that, so yeah. So I don't have to be completely the same as this for pieces. It just makes it nicer and easier. So let's start. So what we want is get the main bulk shape of this entire thing. So we're going to start off with just a block. Just 3D print chain of missiles. That's what peeps really want hanging from a bazooka. Belt-fed bazooka. It's weird that a bazooka has a magazine in the first place. To purge the heretics, yeah. Yeah, technically a bolter is a type of bazooka. Because it fires self-propelled projectiles. Let's get the square. So for all my measurements, I use a digital calipers. Not the best, but they do the job. I'm only doing for measurements so I can then, when I scale it up, it is the exact size I need it to be. I'm going to get the basic shape first, and then we're going to add the detail. If you have any questions on that, don't be afraid to ask. We'll put them into the chat. I'll try and answer them as best I can. So 32.83. That's the height. And then we want the overall width for now. Which is 22.3. 22.32. And then we want that dimension, but we don't want it with a detail, we just want the flat dimension. There we go. And that's 10.91. So there we have it, we have our base for the magazine. So the next thing is to get the shapes out of it. So these ones are a bit easy enough. Is what we're going to do is just measure and then cut a triangle out each side. This is easy. We can do this quite easily. So that's not much of a worry for me. But we'll do these for now. I could go one step further with these as well and actually make just holes in here and make these as individual pieces. So then if you wanted to, you could show it as expended or mid-firing, stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think people would like that. Especially you could have one model one as if it's being fired out of the front of the bazooka. So yeah, I'll probably make those individual. Not going to be hard, it's just going to be like a basic bullet shape. With a projectile end to it. That's what a bazooka round is. So no need to be fancy with it. So what we'll do next is we'll get this edge here, just there. that flat bit so I can cut it out of there. So I'm going to need a triangle. I need to put it on its side. Cool. And then I want to mirror it so I can cut out this side here. And first thing I need to do is I'll make it just wider than the shape so that I can always grab it if I need to. I'm going to measure the distance from this corner here to this corner. It's a bit difficult. A lot of this is done by eye, really. I don't have to be exact, to be honest, as it is my rendition of Bazooka. I'm trying to get as close as I can to this, but it doesn't have to be exact. 2.47. And then the height of it. Is 5.5. Cool. And then all I do is just turn it into a hole. Then I want to line it up with this piece. And there we have it. So when we group these two together, it's going to cut that corner off. And we want to do the same now here, which is going to be a much bigger piece. Just always remember, before you go to your next measurement, to zero your calipers. Go with that, 5.1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of this and actually just going to copy it. Then mirror it. I don't want to magnetize it, mirror it. There we go. You magnetize stuff to stuff, which is great. So for width of it, it's going to be 5.18. 5.18. And then the height. Magic of 3D designing is heresy. It's only because you don't know how to do it. Remember, one man's magic is another man's science. 25. Can we just go with 25 because I'm guessing a little? No, I don't want that. And then we take this and we'll line it up with this. And that'll give us this shape here, which is what we want. I'm not going to worry about this piece here too much because I'm just going to model that on top like that. So it's going to be modeled like this. So the next thing we need to do is see this corner down here. This corner down here is slightly curved, which we can do, thankfully. And same with this corner here, that's also not flat but slightly curved. So there is a piece in here I can use to do that with. If we go into the basic shapes here, and we go into shape generators, and go to all, and then there's a bunch of shapes in here we can look through, like text and stuff like that. And there should be a shape in here I can use. It's like cogs and that. So the cogs are very handy, especially when you have to make your own cogs. Some of these cog tools, like this one here, I use a lot. The gear tool. It lets you set amount of teeth you want to use, depth, width, all that. It's great. So like this might look like a normal cylinder, but it's actually, you can change like different widths at different areas, so you can create stuff like barbells and that. Very handy stuff. So I'll probably use these or this here for like the nose cone of my shells for this. There's an arch around here somewhere, I know there is. There we go. Let's take an arch. So it looks big, but we can change the size of that, no problem. It's not going to take us long. So in this case, I'm just going to go back to basic shapes. What I'm going to do is I want to cut this in half, because I only need half of it. So we'll get our basic shape here. The length is, let's make this 44, just to make it easier to work with. So we can make this 22. And then we can align these two up. And again, just make it a little bit taller. There we go. And then we just group those two. We now only got half a curve. So we can use that to try and get this curve here. And what I'll do is I'll probably keep this shape out, just so I can make copies of it. Did that the wrong way. I'm gonna do it that way. There we go. See ya. So I can probably roughly tell where this shape's got to be. It's going to be like 4 in. So what I'm going to do is get another square, change the colour of it, and what's the height of this? 10.91. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is going to take this little square and line it up with a corner of this. There we go. There, I know now where this curve's got to bisect. So I can adjust the size of this to give me the curve I require. A lot of trial and error, and that's about where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this shape because it's handy to have. So that's going to be that big curve there. So we have this curve, and it's because it's not a symmetrical curve either. We're going to have to do the same to this piece as well. So down here is not symmetrical again on this detail, and up there it's not like a symmetrical curve. And so now we've got to do the curve at the top here. So again, we'll get my little digital calipers out, make sure they're zeroed. Bring it up here, and again we're going to get a small box, change the colour of it, to 10. What's the actual height of this? 10.91. Cool. Alright, then we're going to measure whereabouts this curve is. 2.1 by 2.1, so it's more of a symmetrical one there. So There we go. I'm going to align it with this one here. There you go, so we've now got that corner up there. So if we make these two the same size, these two edges the same size, say 13 by 13, so we've got more of a square thing, we can then just line it up with, we'll try to line it up with the corners as best we can like that. There we go. So now if I group all this together, we'll get this shape. So it's near enough the same shape, which is what we're going for. Now the easiest way to obtain this shape, this detail, is to copy and paste this detail. And all we do is we decrease the size of it, increase the width, and then we have what we need for this panel. So we're going to do that now. So what we're going to do is take measurements of this panel. So it's 17.7 wide. Let's go 7.9 to be as accurate as we can. Like I say, this is my own rendition, so it doesn't have to be perfect. 25.72. Okay. And then the fat solid. So I'm gonna do that. So we're looking at 11.84. Okay, let's just change the color so we know they're different. So the next thing we want to do is get all these lines with the circle ends in there. So the best way to do that is to start with a box, like so. We'll make it 12 high. Then we want the width of it, which is, well, height of it, which is 1.6. 1.6. Okay. And then for width of it, is 13. Let's go with 13. It's a nice round number instead of working with decimals constantly. Cool. Then we're going to get a cylinder, increase the amount of size to make it smooth, decrease the size to 1.6 in diameter. Reduce the height to 12. And then I want 2 of these for each side. Wrong button. There we go. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to line these up. Same with this one. And centered. Now what we do is just reduce this by half of 1.6, which is 0.8? Yeah, 0.8. So that'd be 12.2. And then reduce it this side by 0.8, which would be 11.4. There we go. So now we have this shape. What we want is we want different size lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines at different sizes, but they're spaced apart evenly. It's might be a bit tricky, but we can try. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to merge these just yet. I'm going to make these 5 spaces. So what we'll do is we'll copy that whole thing. Take that. Ooh, wrong circle. There we go. Take that one and that one. And we're going to shrink this space now to the same width as this, and we're just going to do the whole process again. That's 12.1. And then again, just align these with this. And again, reduce these by 0.8. So that'll be a 11.3. And that'll be 10.5. There we go. We got another one of these, but shorter. And then we again repeat the process. Got 11. Pizza time. Alright, you enjoy your pizza while I'm doing this. Let's go with 10, it's easier. Oops, wrong way. Don't matter though. Just realign this one. There we go. And again, same process, reduce by 0.6 on either side. And I've got one more to do. Still here, just putting it in the oven. That's fair enough. Again, 9. So yeah, that's good. Good round numbers. That's what I want to see. And 7.4. There we go. So what I'm going to do next is just grab these and group them all together so that all are one. Till all are one, Isaac. Then we do that, then we get that, then we do that. Cool. So we now have our what are going to be our indents. in the shape. So the next thing to do, what I'm going to do first, is get these aligned up like that. All straight, one way, and then... So I'm going to get two... Do I have one over here somewhere? Alignment block. No, I do actually have another alignment block here. Right. So I like using blocks to align everything. Just makes things easier. So there we go, forget that. .19.8. So we've made that 19.8. Cool. Now we'll use this just for the side piece here. So I'm going to move these out of the way first. First thing I'm going to do is... Actually, I don't need that piece. Let's get rid of that. So I'm going to line these two up first. So they're in line with each other on one side, which is our left side. Which they already are. Handy. Next thing to do is to align them up with this box here. Oh, I don't want to group them. Silly me. Let's line that one up, and then we line this one up. So now the top and the bottom are equal distance between each other now. Then the next thing to do is get the next one down. First things first is to align it with this one. And then reduce this size of this box to match that. So that's, I'm going with, that's 15.34 or 35. Reduce the length, and then what I have to do then is line it up with this box. Like so. And the same with the next one. So get to the bottom bit there. 10.57. Yep. So align this one up with this one. I'm still using the top one as my main mark. It's just so I get everything aligned on one. And last but not least, this one. So we'll get this aligned with this first. And then we reduce the size of this. It's 6.16. So yeah, I'm doing this all so it looks right. However, if you want, you can do it all by eye. It's not a problem. So once that's made, I'm going to group them all together. So that way they all move as one piece. And it will always stay in that alignment. So it's easier to make them align in here. So if I make the height 13, because I need a 13 to be honest. Cool. So if I change the width or length, it just changes them in proportionate. Magic, yes, magic, black magic. So anyway, what I'm going to do next is with my little alignment block, I'm going to align it with the bottom of this piece, like so. Then I'm going to get the measurement from the bottom of this shape to the top of this indent. Which is about 22.64. So 22.64, all the way up there. So now, what I do is I will align this with this at the top. So we now know that is in the right spot vertically. Now we need it in the right spot horizontally. Again, using my little block here, my alignment block. Align it up with the left hand side here. So that that flat edge is the same as that flat edge. And then I'm just going to measure the width between those two pieces there. Like so. Which is about 2.48. What I should do really though is measure from this edge all the way to there. So let's zero that and try again. If this was a replacement piece, I would be a little bit more accurate, especially like pieces that go into other Gundam. As this is a new piece that we just attach into a Gundam, the measurements don't have to be exact. And then that's 15.19. I don't know why that's changed. Please bear with me. Should not have changed. There we go. Weird. Don't know why that changed. Oh, because I think I hit the plus by accident. Cool. So what we do then is now we align it with this side. Like so. There we go. So now we have these shapes sitting in there. What we're going to do next though is we're going to turn them into holes. Voila. And with them being holes, we can just do this. We can just group them together. And now we have holes all the way through this little shape here. Next thing we're going to do is align this shape in the center of our next shape here. So again, we're using my little alignment block here. Going to line them up on one side like so. Then I'm going to measure from that corner to that edge. Just zero it so we know it's going to be right. There we go, so it's 19.8. Cool. What we also want is the right height. Take your time, I'm enjoying the education. Well, you know. So what we're going to do now is align this with this now. By alignment block, so we know we have the horizontal. So there we go. Next we're going to take this, go down here, we're going to align it with the bottom like so, and then we're going to get from this bottom edge to the top, so zero it again. Always remember the zero, just so you got a good number, especially if you're doing replacement parts over new parts. Now we're looking at 27.97. Cool. So now we line these two up. That should put it in the right place. But it's not entirely right because we need to center this on this. So as you can see, it's sticking out quite far, but we want this on both sides. So we'll center it to the piece, and there we go, we've got it on both sides now. So we now have this panel. So if I try and get them side by side. There we go. So we now have this panel here with all these indents in. And the indents, if you couldn't see, mark the bottom of each, or near enough where each rocket pod is. But yeah. And we can group this together. And there you go. So because we created holes, we created a hole all the way through this piece, and then when we merged it with this piece filled in the holes for the indent height we needed. Which is good, which is what we need. So the next bit we need to do, which I think we should do, is this little circle. They like putting their little circles everywhere. So we're going to put in our own little circle. Pretty easy. Just measure the diameter of the circle. If you can get the thing in there, that's it. So 1.7 we're going to go with. Get the hole. Increase the size to make it as smooth as possible. What's the width of this thing? 11.84. So we're going to make this 12. And then we're going to make for the diameter 1.7. Cool. And then we just need the center of the damn thing. So from that edge to that edge, let's do the top edge because that's where we're at the moment. We're along that side. So we're looking at 4. So if I get my alignment block and line it with the top, and just change that length there to 4. I can then align this hole with that edge, like so, and then move the alignment block on this side. Which is 3.37. Cool. And then we can align this hole with that. So that's where that hole's going to go. And if we really wanted to, just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, I'm going to measure the depth of the hole. 0, you bastard. Which we can do. Which is 0.3. So this is going straight through, but we only want it as an indent, not like a hole that goes away through. So if we take 0.33 off either side, so if we take a square here, make it 2 by 2, and then make the height. The height is right. My mental maths has gone out the window since I stopped using it for so long. So we want 11.84 minus 33 minus 0.33 equals 11.18. So that's now the height that we need for indent to be. So what we do is we align it with a hole because that's exactly where we want it to be. Like so. However, we only take the hole and this piece and align them first to create that hole. And for some reason, That there is the wrong height. Oh yeah, because I forgot about these pieces. Silly me. Anyhow, do. If we center it on this. Cool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, shorten it to 11. See how what that looks like. It's not much of an indent, so I'm going to shorten it again to 10. That's a bit too much. So I'm going to lengthen it to 10.7. Cool. So what we're going to do is go down here, and hopefully there we go. And then we're just going to reduce the height there. So that's that in that deep. That's about the same thing, deepness. There you go. So now we have an indent, and we're just going to group these two pieces together. There we go. So yeah, so we now got indent on each side of that hole is. So again, we're getting more and more closer to the shape we're looking for. So I'm just thinking about this piece here, this bit that sticks out. This is the easiest bit. Not going to worry about that. Same with these pieces here. They're easy. So they're going to be like the last things we do. Next piece we're going to need to do is this. This chunk here. And this little bit here. So first things we're going to do is come down here. Start with a new block. And I'm going to make the block the size we need. So 4.5. Let's go with 5. Make it easy. No, I don't want to magnetize. There we go. So we've made it that size. And then we want the height. Looking at the whole thing. It's 10.64. And then we just want the width. Or length, however you want to put it. And it's 8.35. There's our starting block for this shape. So first thing I want to do is cut out this triangle piece. This corner here is quite flat. I'm just going to use a triangle piece to do that. There we go. I'll put that down here, turn it into a hole for now, and then I want to measure those pieces. So about 2.1. Yeah, so it's squared. So it's 2.1 both height and width. I think this is get 5. Let's just make it 6. Just so we can grab it easily. And then we just align it with this. Cool. So that's going to cut that corner off for us. And we just want this little indent too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this here, hole. Gonna measure the thickness. .84. Reduce the height to 6. There we go, and then the depth. I'm gonna guess at this really. It's not that deep there. That's deep enough to make you notice it. It's gonna be 0.5. So half a millimeter. I'm going to copy this block here to make it as my alignment block. Right. So 5.4, and we align these two so they're equal distance. Then if I move this here, and I can align this bottom there, and then align it with this piece here, and then group those together. There we go, we've got that shape we want. It's always handy to have more than one alignment box. Next thing we need to do is take our alignment box here, and I'm going to align it with the top of this shape, and then I am going to get the length or the height, like so. So 33.32. Cool. Which we can then align that with this. There we go. And then we want, what I'll do is align it again, just .23. So I'll take this piece here and align it with this piece here. Make the length of this 23, and then I can align this piece with that. Just gives us that bit there, and then I'll align this with this so I can center it, and there we go. We now have this piece here, this bit of detail block here. No reason, it's not really there for anything but function and form. It's not for a function really, it's just aesthetic. So there you go. And last big piece that sticks on it here is this little flat bit there. So we've got this square here that just juts out a little at the bottom there. Nothing special. What we'll do is, all I'm going to use is copy this piece here and then just measure it. Like I say, this is not exact. As it is my own piece, I don't have to worry about that too much. .3. Again. It's already at 5, cool. So, again with all the measurements and the alignment sticks and all that, blocks. .94. Trying to keep this in line with how I'm working on this. And these are sticking out the same amount, either bottom and top. So I'm going to center it with it and then align it like that. And there we go. So if we join these, I won't join them together yet because I'm still using these flat edges for a lot of my measurements. So these two pieces won't be joined to this piece yet. Maths, yo, yeah. Lots of maths. This is a thing when you're 3D designing. It's different when you're doing, say, this. It's less about measurements and more about feelings and how things look in certain angles. Compared to mechanical stuff, where if you want it to be symmetrical, it's not that hard. All you have to do is measure right, and you get it. Pretty easy, really. So what I'm going to do next is I will make this rack here. Which is not too hard. So this hole is going to be the same angle as this on one side. So what I'm going to do is get me a block, a hole. To be fair, one is solid to begin with. And you'll soon see. So if I get for width, which is 8, that's very handy. And then the height. Height of this 32.83. Okay, might be easier just to measure the thickness of the walls here. 1. So it'd be 30.83. Cool. Then what I'm going to do is make the hole come up to be edged here. So I stick in there, which is like the most bottom part of the whole thing. Come on. Work with me here, thank you. So yeah, say that's 8.24. This is how big a cutout we're going to make. So what I'm going to do here is just ungroup it a little. And I'm going to take this triangle here and copy it. And then I'm going to turn it upside down. Once that's done, and what I'm going to do is select those there, and group. Takes a little while because it is an online system. There we go. Oops, I've done it wrong a bit. So I want to take that. Just gotta be careful of how you unselect and stuff like that. There we go. It's done it again. Hold on. Trial and tribulations, you know. There we go, that's worked. Cool. What we're going to do is going to take that, shove it this way, and then we want to get one of these. Just make it the same height, so it's just exactly the same. Same width, which is 5.18. And then just align these two. Like so. So what's this? The height is 25, 30.83, so it's 5.83. So we can align these two as well. Perfect. Make sure they're completely flat. So we do group these together, which gives us this shape, and we can turn this shape into a hole. And we can align this hole up with this. So I'm going to take, first thing first, I want this block. I'm going to align it with this. So that's my alignment block sorted. I'm just going to make it thinner. So that goes like that. Let's just center that for a sec. Right, so we want the height of this. Thanks for the support, V. Much appreciated. I know for some it's going to be a bit boring, but I'd hope that others would enjoy it. I'm just going to take one off it. Solid. 31.83. Well, I'll be surprised that when you finish this piece, will either want to buy the file or straight print. Yeah, that's well, you know. Some people will do that. Some people will try and make their own. I'm hoping to inspire people to start doing their own stuff. So they're not relying so much on others to do it for them. So that should, in theory, give us a flat cut like that. In theory. But I'm not so sure. But the only one way to find out is to cut it and see. Group. There we go. And there, look, it's done it. It has done it. Cool. So we now have this inside here. I may get into printing stuff one day, but I know what I'll do, just be a mass of weapons. So yeah, and the hole's perfectly lined up here, which is what I wanted it. It's gone in slightly underneath here, and I wanted this to lip up like that. Gives it a little bit more detail. That's why I didn't really group these together yet. That's why I was using this still as a reference point. So the next thing to do is these parts here. So the top one has the exhaust on it, which is not too bad to make, this bit. But these bits here, I'm going to actually make separate bullets, or separate shells for the bazooka. So in order to do that, I need to make one of these, duplicate it 5 times, and then make a hole for these to fit in, and duplicate that 5 times in the piece at the right heights. Or 4 times in this case. There's only 4 of them there, 1 would be in for the chamber. Technically, as this whole magazine comes off, there'll be 1 at the top, and then another 4 below it. Just trying to think the best way of doing this on there. Because it does come up a little here as well. It's not like entirely flush with the top, which is not a problem for me, but you know, just trying to think. And you know, the interior of the exhaust as well. If I do this piece first, and then I can do these pieces afterwards. If I do the same depth going in. So let's make a round first. Let's get a round sorted out first. Because they've got to look special as well. Which I can do. So what we'll do is we'll get a cylinder, because it's a cylinder at the end of the day. And then we need to figure out what kind of point we want on these bazooka shells. Because it is just basically, this whole piece would just be about that long, and it'd be one thing. It won't be like a bullet inside a shell casing. If the entire thing is a self-propelled round with a high explosive in it. So it's just gonna look like a little stubby rocket, basically, without the fins. And it's gonna have like a propellant there, so you can see here in the side there, you've got the exhaust for self-propellant, and that they have their own little verniers. So yes, we've got to think of what kind of tip. Normally, the tip of a bazooka round is a little bit more rounded and not as pointy. So if we look into shape generators again and have a look at what they've got, we've got this size. I think this is more like it. This is more like the shape I'm thinking of. So we'll go with this. Take this back to basic shapes. So I can change resolution and all that. So if I change resolution, it just makes it a lot smoother. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the width or the diameter of one of these. Which is around about 5.9. Okay, cool. So if we go with 5.9, which is good because then I can just make the holes 6 in diameter and they'll just sit there nice and snug. And then we want for the length of these. So they're not going to be too long because they need to cycle up this one side. So this is, the bottom one here shows how far it sticks out the back and how far it should go in. If we think about self-propelled on a 1/100, so this is a, because there's all a 1/100 scale at the moment, and then I'm going to scale it up. So we take a 1/100 figure. So that's a 1/100 figure. It's not going to be as big or as tall as a 1/100 figure, otherwise it wouldn't fit in there properly. So we're going to have to make it like probably we're probably looking at around about the shoulder height of a figure. That would do it. So using that as our template, or as a reference point, we'll take the measurement between his shoulders and his toes of this figure, which is about 14. Okay, so that's the overall height of the entire thing. So let's have a look. Let's just reduce the size of this and then take the height to 14. So another height is going to be 14. So that's got to encompass for conical tip and the rest of it. So let's change this to 5.9 in diameter. And then we've got to think about the ratio. How much of the round, this shell, is going to be just a cylinder and a conical tip. This is because we don't actually have any of that, and we're all going by guesswork now, and we're just doing it from the top of our heads. So that is kind of the shape I want. Perfect at 6, which would leave about 8 for the rest, which is a good ratio. So if I do that, get these two together, like so. And then I can line these two up, like that. You see, if you, this is as far as I can zoom in. And you can see there's no gap at all, which is nice. So basically what we're doing, a bazooka set, a bolt around and a bazooka shell are similar, completely similar. And a bolt around from a Warhammer 40k bolter. Because yes, the bolt arounds are in shells, but the bullet of the bolter itself is like a bazooka shell. And it's as in its self-propelled rocket. So yeah, so we have our basic shape now. What I'm going to do is just going to group these two together. It takes, now because I've got so many shapes and stuff going on this piece, it's going to take a little longer to load or do stuff, as you can see. So it is going to be imperfections that you're not going to see. I'm not too worried. Actually, not a bad look to it. What I'll do is, just to make sure these do print out as one, is I'll make a smaller one. Take that off. I'll reduce this to 3 in diameter. And then I'll lengthen it to about 10. And I'll center it on this one. Like so. There we go. And then just group those together. So that way, if they do print separately for some weird reason, they're still joined together by a central column. Just makes it a little bit easier. What is going on? Freehaven started streaming. Tinkercad liking tweets. Why? Thank you, Tinkercad, for liking tweets. Yeah, cool. It's amazing really what you can do with such basic software. Okay, cool. So we have the basics of what our one shell is going to look like for this. Next thing we need to do is all the detailing in it. Like all this in here. Which ain't too hard, to be honest. So what we'll do first is I'm going to make the cross that the thrusters are in. So I want to put a hole in the bottom and then make a cross. So I'm going to flip this upside down so I can work at the back here. If you can't, you can just see in there. So there's like a little dimples every quarter of the way around. So we'll do that first because it's easier to do. So what I want is I want one of these, and I want to make it the same height as that, which was 8. And then we want to make it the same diameter. Well, no, we want to make it a little bit less. So let's make it 5.5 instead of 5.9. Cool. And this will be aligned with this. I won't put it in there just yet. I just want it on standby for when I need it. It's good just to have it there. Let's change the colour of it so we can see it better. Tweety tweets, yes, tweety tweet tweet tweet. What the hell are you saying? Isn't it boring, by the way? It's like BBC bite size of 3D printing plus Gunpla. Oh, thank you. Right, so let's see. We're going to do those holes next. So I'm going to take one of these holes, and then we're going to take it to, we're going to make it 6 in length, as I don't want too far. Just trying to make out some details I can. Alright, so let's make this a height of 4. And a width of let's go 0.5. There we go. And I want 4 of these. 1, 2, 3. So now I've got 4 of these holes. So let me see. Let's angle that at 90. and then that one at 45, and that one at negative 45. Cool. And then what we're going to do is want to line all these up with each other. So let's start with the first one. And then start with the next one. And then the last one. There's almost like a red cross symbol. Like so. I'm going to take that, group them together, so it's one shape. So we now have this one shape. Next thing we want to do is, if I bring this over here, if I reduce the height of this to say 13, I can then make this the same height. Again, this is all guesswork because we don't actually have one of these to work with, so I am just guessing. So there you go. Those make those holes. So if we group that together, once it's loaded, again, like I say, as we've got so many shapes going on now, it's going to take a little while to load. And I'm hoping, because it's only 9:30, I won't have this done really, but most of this. Because once we've got this bit and this bit done together, I'm doing these as an extra bit. Won't take long to do the holes for them. And then we got this piece, which is going to be the most complicated piece beside these two, which is 2 halves of the pistol grip. But this is going to be like one of the more complicated pieces to make, because I've got to do that slit as well as attach it to this. As you can see here, yep, because it's weird, it started making lines everywhere, like all that. But you can see there's a whole way through there now. And if I align this up together, see those holes filled in, and now we have those indents that was showing up just off the back here. To be fair, I might bring these details up higher. So let's ungroup this for a sec. So I might extend the height of this to around about there. This is me just feeling it now. I'm just we'll have a Pokemon break in a second. I know you all love those. So if anyone got any points saved up, you want to use them now and we'll open them up then. Excuse me. Just waiting for things to merge as we slowly do this. Right, while that's merging, we'll get another shape. Do that. And what we're going to do now is the indents there, which look like they are, just by looking at it, 3 mil deep. And then just by looking at that, it's, so this is what's 5.9. This is going to be like 4.9. Just by guessing, just by having a look. I think the wall all the way around is like near enough 1 mil. So let's align that with this. Ooh, for some reason It's made it oblong. That's why. Excuse me. There we go. There's a culprit. Right. There we go. So this should make a nice little hole in there for us. For us to do the thruster part in here.
It's slow to gain the points. I get like 2.5 a stream.
That's faster than yours. That's a lot faster than what getting your stream. Complaining about 2.5. That is a Pokemon card. So you are basically getting a Pokemon pack a stream. Unlike on yours one, I get barely a Pokemon pack a stream. Hold on, I need to turn my aircon on because it's getting warm in here.
I'm not taking off my clothes.
So sorry if you hear a rumble in the distance. Alright, so the next bit is we are going to do the 4 veins that are inside. I'm not arguing. What's your multiplier on? I can't remember. I know you being a moderator get a lot more than others. So, same with people who are subscribers, who are followers. They get more points, of course. Alright, so what we're going to do is, I'll just get this piece here and just copy and paste it. It's easier than just... So I need to. Right, so... Again, judging by these veins, they're like 1 mil thick. Which these are. So if I, what's the width? This is 5.9, isn't it? Yeah. So if I make these 5.4. Cool. And then rotate 190 degrees. There we go. And then let's make the depth of them 4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these two up. So multiply for me is times 4. Might set it times 5 for a bit when I return. Yeah. Can't exactly remember my sub multiplier. There we go, and then we're going to join these two together and then center them on this piece. I just had a bit of deja vu, as if I've done this before. Cool. So if we look in here properly, now we've got that set up. The veins are slanted. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, the veins are slanted down 2 mil, or 1.5 mil, down to the thruster itself. So we've got to try and do that as well. So the best thing to do that with is a cone. So mount sides. And then if we make this the same width as the hole, which was, if I remember, 3.9. Was it 4. I made it 4.9, didn't I? Yeah. 9. 4.9. Because you got to remember, I'm doing this all at the moment at 100 scale. When we scale this up, I delete book one so fast. I bet, yeah. Pie. So when we scale this up, the size is going to be a lot different. Made this 2 mil. I think that might need to be bigger. 3 mil. It's just 1.5 mil down. Looks like it's a right angle. Maybe a little bit bigger. 2.5. Let's go with 2.5. There we are. So what I'm going to do is flip that upside down, and then I'm going to turn it into a hole. And I'm going to put that hole here. There we go. So this hole, and the piece. So select the hole. So great thing is like you can select the hole like that, change it until you get the red. And you can select the whole thing and then group it together. There we have it. So now we have our fins going down. Bloody hell we went. So now we've got that fin shape going down now, inside. Next we're going to make the thruster, which is going to be slightly bigger than for vanes, of course. But first, so we'll get a thruster out. So we're going to need a cylinder, change all the sides, cool. And then what it's probably at is a 1.5 million, so 1.5 by 1.5, and we're only going to make it, so let's see, if the height of this is 14 and the depth of that is 3, we only want it to go down 2, so change that to 12. If I just change this to the height of 4, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put a little hole in the center to make it look more thruster like. So we're going to get another hole, increase the number of sides it has. We don't need it too deep, so let's just make it, well, in this case it looks like it's only 0.5 mil deep, not even that. So yeah, 1.5, and then the diameters are going to be 1, because the diameter of the piece itself is 1.5. So if we join these together, we'll group them together once we've aligned them. Cool, so we've got a little thruster bit here now. Next thing to do is to bring it up to the height we want it, and then we're going to align it in the bullet. So we'll use the little square inside to align it. So it's there right now. What we want to do is really bring it up, so I'm going to use this little black arrow on top to bring it up slightly, just so it's sitting outside like that. There we go, we have our bazooka shell. Now we're just going to group it together. And let's just flip this 90 degrees. There we go. Move you out of the way. So there we have a bazooka shell. Hey Zephyr, how you doing? Hope you're good, hope you're well. Hope life's treating you fine. I'm just having a sweet. I'm good, thanks. How is everyone? Yeah, how is everyone else who's watching? There's not many, hey. But yeah. So we have here a bazooka shell. Nomming meat pizza, nice. So now what I'm going to probably do is make 4 of these, another 3 of these, so they fit in here. I'm going to make holes in this piece here, so we can just slide these in and glue them in if we need to. So let's just 90 degrees it. There we go. What we'll do is we'll move this over here. Because again, weirdly, if you look at the diameter of this bazooka and the diameter of those rounds, the bazooka is way, way bigger than the shell, which is not exactly what you want. You want the shell to be just snug with the tube, otherwise it'd be bouncing around on its way out. But hey, I'm just going by what the model is. I have cheesecake mochi. Oh, I love me a bit of cheesecake. Mochi. I haven't had mochi in a while. God. Cheesecake mochi. So with a chewy, gummy texture of mochi with a flavour of cheesecake. Love it. Right. Control C, V. 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 There we go. We now have our 4 rounds. Simple as that. Why don't you make one? That's it, just copy and paste. Yes, sir. It's very Moorish, I bet. Just be careful with mochi. I almost choked on mochi before because it's so damn chewy. Right. So what we want, if we look in here, the rounds go all the way up from the bottom here to the top edge here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 4 of, I'm going to make 4 of these. Because they're 5.9 in diameter they are, I'm going to make these 6. Just so they slide it in and out a lot easier. Yeah, it's only going to be 0.1 of a mil tolerance, but it's better than nothing. Also, when we look in here, it looks like there's 4 mil sticking out the end here. So it should only go 4 mil in. So if we have a look at the length of this, 22. Just trying to figure out the best length of what we should make this. So I'm going to line it up with what we should make this. I mean, pointing at things like you can see my fingers. So I'm going to line it up with this edge. But really, I should line it up with this edge here. This edge. So let's get this piece. Let me just double check this. So we know it's 14 mil in length overall for a round. A round should be there. So yeah, so 17.5 from this edge to here. So let's line these two up. When 3D, what 3D package is this? Explains why Zaku and Dom with a bazooka explodes dodgy rounds. Yeah. Oh, this is Tinkercad. It is a free online 3D design CAD/CAM software. You don't just make 3D designs. You can make circuits. You can do physics experiments, SimLab, blocks, Lego, all kinds of stuff in it, and it's completely free to use. And if you learn how to do everything in it, it's not that bad. Right, so that's 17.5 from there to there. From there to there. So let's just line these up first. I'll go with 17.5 like that, and turn this on its side. 90. There we go. What's the length? We need to make this into 14. So, first thing I want to do is really I want to start aligning along here more than anything. Let's just get these at the center of that. So this is centered this way. Okay, it's been ages since I did any 3D work. I used to do animate in uni, and I did being a runner at a couple of film studios. Alright. Now this is nothing like Blender or anything like that. It's very simple, just using shapes to make things. And so far, we have made that much of a bazooka. So, like, oops, wrong way. So we have created that much so far, and we're working on this piece, the magazine. So yeah, not bad really, considering. Because it's just a mech piece, so it's easy to make mech stuff. Alright, nice. Are these for printing? Yes. So what I'm doing a 1/100 scale at the moment, and then I'm going to scale it up to 160 for my PG Unleashed. Because of PG, one of the main complaints of PG Unleashed, it doesn't come with a bazooka, especially for the price of a damn thing. .4, okay. Just going to take this piece here, align it up with this piece here. So then, now I can put this in. So, line these two. Then align these two. There we go. And there's our first hole. So that's how far the bazooka round will come out. I might need to take it up a notch because it's cutting into there. So if I extend that to 7.6. Oh, come on. I hate that sometimes. Then align it, these two together. Just to bring it up. There you go, that's better. So it's not cutting into there. There we go. So yes, once I'm done, I will be printing them. We'll test printing at 1/100, so I don't waste resin, just to make sure it works. And then I'll be printing at 160. Right, Control CV. I'm going to roughly put them in where I think they should be, and then I'm going to change them. Cool. Alright, so zero this again. I'm going to go from the top here down to here. Again, this is a lot of guesswork, me doing it by eye. But it's working so far. 13.9. Let's lower it a little, that's good. Then I need to know the length of this piece is 19.1. So 19.1. And of course got my little cheerleader here as well, of a V. And there we are, that's that one. That's not too bad for the sound. That's not bad. So yeah, so we'll go on to the next one, which is 19.9. Let's go 19.9, see what it looks like. It's alright. It's not even, is it? So we want to reduce. So that looks like it's in the right place. It might be a bit further up. No. Well, that's just right. Maybe not. We'll find out. I can manually move this like that. And if we make... So I'm just going to guesswork a lot of it now. That'll do. So we just need the depth of them.
Stuffing my face with pizza.
Don't worry, once we've done this bit, we'll have some Pokemon. 2.3. 20.3. Just to break it up a little, have a just have a quick break from all this 3D printing work. You know, as a little treat for being patient with me as we go through all this. 21.47. Okay, so there's the holes. So where the end of these hollow bits end is where the end of these tips will come out. So these thruster ends will pop out from. So if we align these, and boop, we now have the 4 holes for each bazooka shell. So now we can print these separately, and you can put them in however you want. And to be fair, to make it look a little bit more accurate, I could get rid of these like separated bits here, so then it looks like it's been pushed up, like a conveyor belt kind of style. So it's not like these. But I think I'll leave it as it is, because it's kind of a small detail. People can do that if they want to change it themselves. I'm quite happy for them to do that. So cool. The next piece we're going to do is this bit that sticks out. Because, you know, why not? So as you can see here, it's quite in segments. This is just to save on plastic, really, and still keep the structural strength of that piece. But we don't need to worry about that. We're just going to print it as one solid piece. So I need the dimensions. So going to this, we're looking at 7.24. So we'll get that. And we'll do that side too. We also have Mars cake and double cream. It's a fat, fluffy night. I don't blame you, to be honest, at all. Right. Just want to measure the distance between this and this. That is 32 point. Let's go to 32.3. So if you've not used Tinkercad before, depending on which little black square you select, or white square, is for side or for edge that moves. So like in this case, when I click this side and change the measurement of this width, this side moved out instead of this side. Alright, let's put this on its side. 90, there we go. So, let's get this first. Line it up with that piece. So it looks like I've accidentally grouped that with this, but it don't matter to me really. I think that's actually a good idea because it's cut into this. Alright, and then I want for height. So this does have the top cut off it. 33.4. So it does have a flat top, which we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is gonna get a little piece like this. How wide is this? 20. Let's just reduce that to 13. Just make it easier to work with. Okay. So we want this top bit here to be flat. So we know for width of it 7.24. Oh, I zeroed that at the wrong place. There we go. So if we measure this distance here, it's 6.77. Okay. So get my calculator back out because I don't do mental maths much anymore. So 7.24 minus 6. That's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, I thought as much. .68 is equal to 0.56. So 0.56. And what we do is we just align these two up. Like so. And we just cut them. So but first, yeah, so we'll do that first. So we put these together. So then we've got a flat topped cylinder that will go into the end here. And then we align that up with all this here. So first things first, we align it up with this block here. And then we align it with this block here. And then we center it with this block. Like that. There we have it. What we do is, technically that is one flat top, so this should be aligned with the top of it. So I don't know why I made an extra block, to be honest. There we go. I'll make sure it goes in a little bit further. There we are. So that is, all intents and purposes, what we need. So delete that for a sec. What I'm going to do though, because I'm still got to put this thruster end on, and it lines up with this, actually. So what I'm going to do is going to get just a random cylinder, move it 90 degrees, and then I'm just going to change the diameter to like probably 5 for now. What I'm going to do is undo that, the thing I got there, and I'm going to align this with the center of this cylinder. That way. I have a cylinder that's in line with all this. So I can make this, do this a lot better. Like so. And then we just regroup these. And there we have it. Cool. It is coming together nicely. Alright then, what we'll do is we'll have a quick break. And we'll open up some Pokemon cards. For those who like Pokemon. Just so we have a quick break, and I have my eyes a quick break from focusing so much. And my mic keeps dropping. I definitely need a new mic arm. The thing just keeps dropping. The mic's way too heavy for the mic arm. Pokemon, yes. Oh, I showed you mine. Yeah. I've been looking. When I get some money, I'm going to be buying one. Right, we're going to have a special one because I can, because of mine. So we're going to have a V-Star Universe, and then we're going to have a choice of what one to do next. So, which one? Which one do you want to do? Go to Matt Cam. Good idea. There we go, Matt Cam. Might help. So what do you want? Do you want Violet, Scarlet, Scarlet Violet, go? You want that one? Alright. Okie dokie. I'll go with that one first then. Let me just get my knife. Kind of want gold to see if you get that ditto. You know what? Sure. I got loads of golds. I actually got a few dittos as well. So I don't care about flipping or anything like that. We just go through them. Weird ass Pokemon. Can't remember its name. Dunsparce. Forest. Oh God, really testing my limit of knowledge here. And Asmarul. That was rubbish. I'm not really a fan of these cards. They just go on the pile. I'm not collecting them. And let's go next. Let's see what we get. I already had, I think, the Radiant from this lot of packs. So what we got? We have a little Raticate, a Spinarak, but it's not a Ditto. Magikarp, Pokestop thing, a very shiny Blissey, and I've got for Radiant you really want, yeah. And a shiny Fighting Energy, that's it. And a Pokemon Go thing for these misses. All spares. I've got them. I'm only missing for Radiant. Radiant Charizard, Radiant Blastoise, and Radiant Venusaur from the Japanese set. I've got a Radiant Blastoise on its way from Japan. Hive Tyrant chilling there with boobies. No. Well, yeah, you got boobies there, Hive Tyrant. More boobies. Should we have that on stream somewhere?
In English.
I think I got a Radiant. I think I might have an English. I have to double check. I lose track of my cards sometimes. Anyway. To the pack that actually means something. V-Star University guarantees at least 3 holos and a reverse holo, maybe 4 holos. So we've got Mareep, a nice Lapras, Dusko, Leaf Coat, Sinnoh Friends. Oh, what's his name? Escapes me. Then we have. Oh, what's his? I keep forgetting Pokemon names. But yeah, got V, which is good. Trainer Shiny, a Radiant Gardevoir, and a Reverse Double Energy. So yeah, not a bad pack, that one. Especially with Radiant. I don't think I've got this one. I've got one. I don't think I've got that one. God of War. Yeah, God of War. I don't think I've got many of these. I think I've got that one. And I've got loads of these. Laprases. But I'll see where they go to later. So these are some of the cards I've got to get graded. Alternate Art V Moltres, Professor's Research. Those are the Ditto cards. So with a Go you can tell they're Ditto because of a little Ditto in the corner here. But yeah, I got 2 of them. I've got 1 peeled for my collection. I just got her because I like her. And then I got that special Lugia which I've got to get sorted, which is worth like nearly $1,000. Then Osmolis for Tormentor, which is worth quite a few. There you go, I've got a Radiant Charizard in Japanese. And then Articuno EX, one of the old ones. V-Stars, Vs. And then some other stuff. So yeah. A lot of fun. This is by far my favourite though. This is a really nice card. If you want to see what I've got for sale. So at the moment I have these up for sale. 25th anniversary birthday Pikachu. Grade 10. Don't know what to do with that rainbow I pulled yesterday. Probably trade it in. It's worth a lot when it's graded. It's worth like 15 quid ungraded. You could probably trade it in and get some good cards from it. As it's an English one, I'm not gonna want it really. It's a nice card, but usually for secret rares, I like them to be in Japanese. There's my Japanese Radiant Venusaur, graded 10, which is up for sale. I don't keep graded. Arceus V Alternative Art, 9.5. And a Great Ball Gold at 8.5. I get it, you know. Get what you want from me anyway. So if you'd want it, it'd be in your pile. Yeah, I know. It's just the only reason I would want it would be to sell it. And as you'll probably benefit more from trading it. Like I say, if it was Japanese, I keep it for myself, yeah. But it's something is, if I come across it, I would have just sold it. Be amazed how much some cards go for in the Japanese markets. Also, that PGU 10, how much is it? 200 thereabouts. I've got it up for 180. It's not a cheap one. You know what? As they're there, sod it. Let's open these two as well. I am being a generous man tonight. I'll give you one whole pound. I am not having a shiny £90 for it. You're a friend of Norvey, but I want my money for that one. Right. Rotom. Caspio. I tell you, get your money. Clauncher. Bombardier. And Amelgal. So that was from the Violet pack. Again, I don't rate the Violet, but they're more expensive for some reason. The Violets are more expensive than the Scarlet. And they're not as good. One of my favourite Pokemon, can't remember its name. Kid, Magikarp, Zangoose, and whatever Wattrel, whatever it is. Gigawattrel. Yeah, I'll check my cards later in my binders, see what I've got, what I haven't. And I will just send them to V, because that's what I do. Even though I prefer, yeah, Kaiden. It's because Maridon pulls are worth more, I think. It's not that. It's that Maridon is more popular than Kaiden. Especially if you've played the game a lot, you'll know that with Maridon, when he transforms into his flying mode or his swim mode, because he's mechanical, or his bike mode, he's mechanical, it makes more sense the way he does it. Whereas Kaiden, who does the exact same stuff, but because he's the ancient version, it looks weird. So people prefer Maridon over Kaiden. It's weird. It's just how it is. Right, shall we get back to it? Must be in Japan. Every English-speaking player I see on for games and such, it's always a Kaiden. I see. Yeah, no, even in England though, the Maridon packs only worth more because he's a more popular Pokemon. That's it. Violet's a more popular game. That's it. That's the only reason why it's worth more, because it's more popular. Nothing to do with rarity or anything like that. Excuse me. Especially in the UK and America, you get the Scarlet and Violet pack. You don't get the two separate EX packs. You don't get Scarlet EX or Violet EX. So yeah. Anywho, we have done most of this now. We've done the shells. We've done all of this here. And we've done this bit here that goes into the Bazooka end. Like so. So yeah. So the next part we're going to do, and we're that far now, is the exhaust. Like so. and that goes in there like so. So this exhaust isn't actually that hard to make. And we'll make it. I'm always a legend for that Arcline go with my EX, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, that is. I got a gold card and that makes me happy, yeah. You got one of the rarest cards in the set. So, you know. I can turn it off now because it's cooled down a bit. Don't have that noise anymore. Right. So we'll start measuring. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this. So many things going on. Right, so we're going to start off with this. What we're going to do is we'll probably start off with a little cylinder bit, and then we'll work our way up to the big, and then we'll start cutting holes. And to be fair, we don't really need to cut that many holes, because we're going to be putting that bit in there like that. So I didn't even need to cut that many holes. Have you ever said to me, "I love your go kart," and it'd be out my top loader? You're too kind, man. So what we're going to do is just going to try and recreate this exhaust inside and everything. And we'll probably do it as one piece, so it's not as hard then to make. So what I want to do is what we're going to do is we're going to get this piece here, we're going to copy it. And that's what we're going to start with. So let's get the whole length of it, which is 16.7. Cool. Then we get the diameter of this piece here. Which is 7.9. Cool. So we now have the start of the exhaust. The next bit we're going to make is the rear end of the exhaust, because it's easy to do. And we need a measurement of that. Which is 8.5. Cool. Now in diameter. Well, the cost value is nothing. The card itself is very pretty. Yes, exactly. I did originally get back into Pokemon just to buy and sell, but recently it's just like, I prefer to collect them. 7.9, no matter what the value of it is. Cool. So if we align this with this, there's a basic shape so far of this piece, which isn't bad. So we'll bring this over here so I can work with my alignment block as well. So basically I want to know what the distance would be here, which is 4.63. So yeah, so we've got to make this conical bit here, which is not as wide as this, but it does come along here. So we're going to get our little cone, Crease the sides. Then we're going to measure the width at the base of this cone. Which is 9.68. We want to turn it on its side. Let go will be mine. Mine. Yeah. Not if I get it first. Right, now I want to align it with this. Don't do that to me. Cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this in to a point. There we go. What we do then is just going to cut the end of this cone off. Just near enough there, to be honest. You don't have to cut the end of the cone off, but you know. There we go. Because this end's going into there anyway, so it's not bothering me too much. And then what we do next is just align them all. Boom. There we go. So we've got the basic shape of the thruster. Of the exhaust, I mean. What I'm going to do is just unline these quickly. Align these two. Because I've got still some stuff to do to this one. Like round off the edges and stuff like that.
I hope you get one too, it's so pretty. I want to pull one on stream so I can screech.
Yeah. Just like Slugma. I'll tell you what, for 151 is going to be expensive, no matter how you look at it. It's just even the Japanese one, it's like 160 quid. And that's from Japan to UK. I even looked on the Japanese auction sites and they're not cheap. I want 151, I want to collect 151 for some of those cards. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try and round off these. So I'm going to try and make these like indents here. And I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 per 90 degrees. So let's try and create those. So we'll do those first. So what's the width of this again? Make it 12. And they are, I think they're about a mil. Yeah, they're a mil in width. And they are.
I'm off, guys. Have a good night. See you later, Zephyr. Have a good one. Oh, hey, Cav. How you doing?
How's it going, Gandalf? It's going well. We are just making the rear exhaust now to the Bazooka. 5.72. So yeah, so we've done the most of the magazine. We're just doing the exhaust now. We made actual Bazooka rounds to go into here, so you can take it in and out and adjust it as much as you want.
Oh, yeah, and I send Cav's card. we'll try do that tomorrow or Wednesday with a few little treats in. As long as it isn't chinchilla food. No use for that. Jeez.
Nothing wrong with chinchilla food. Raisins are good for you. Right. And of course, these have to be rounded at the ends, don't they?
Well, they're not squared.
Just straight of the eye. That's good. Saves me a lot of trouble. So now the trick here is we got 1, 2, 3, 4 per 90 degrees. Control Z, V, V, 3, 4. There, see, let's see if we can get something out of this. Right. Don't think I need a fifth one. I might do actually. We'll soon see. Right. So the first things we're gonna change this 90 degrees. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna need at least another 2 of these probably. Right. Okay. So what's 90 divided in 4, people? Use your calculator heads. .5, right. That's the angle I got to move it at. Is it 4 or 3 actually? I need it in 3. You know what's going on. Yeah, a little baggie of BB's almonds, that can be a Weeby, shop is impressive. Why, thank you, Cav. There's more stuff that I need to put on it. I should hopefully be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Due to surgery and stuff. Cool. Your stream? Yeah. Probably 13th of July I return. Then be back to my usual schedule. That's good. I look forward to it. But you deserve the rest. I think I actually got divided by 3. Because it's in 3 sections, which is 30 degrees. Well, I'm an idiot. A boy. Alright. No, I want it the other way. Minus 30. And then minus 60. You'll be back like 4 to a battlefield. I could have rushed it and done 6th of July, but I'm playing the safety card since I had new glasses and then at least a week sort, yeah. And then new eyes, yeah. I'm off for the first week of July, so I'll probably be streaming every morning. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy that one and then just rotate it and then copy this one and mirror it, and there we go. I'm going to get all these, click this one, and I'm going to align them all with this. Done. And then group all these together. So we now have what we need to make holes in this. To make those indents we see. We'll turn it into a... Oh, we don't want it all into a... So we grab this. Turn it into a hole. To be fair, let me see. Let's align this with this, because we don't want it too close to the edge, otherwise you just make a hole all the way through. What's the length of these again? Let's go with 6. I can then line these two up with each other. There we go, that's the edge we want. And then we do this and group them. So we've got those nice holes in there now. With the exhaust.
Good, more content for me to enjoy recovery.
Basically, yes, that's what it is.
I will probably do the Zizzo Razor upon my return, but I'm going to use my full arsenal after surgery. Razors, buffers, full weaponing build when I return. And I may even do decal. Nice. Do you 3D print on request though, through your shop?
No. Why do? So, it depends. So for stuff I sell is 3D printed when you buy it. If you want a certain file printed, you can go DM me on Twitter, and we can all sort out a rental agreement where you rent my printer and pay for resin to print the thing. So just DM me on Twitter. Best way of doing it. Cheapest way of doing it. Didn't want that. Let's copy this one instead, it's a lot easier.
Like I did for Wifey's model, have a representation of what mechs are like.
Thank you, V.
That's cool. Curious, have no idea what I'd want.
Yeah. No one does really until they see what they want. There we go, now give us some nice indentations. And what I'm going to do now is, what I need next is just to round off these edges. And I do actually have something here that can help me with that. So we'll go back to shape generators. There should be something here that can do it. Might be one of those things where I might have to create it myself, which I do a lot of already. Like, see if we take this piece here. Got this edge here. Right. Make that 360. So that's one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to make a negative in it. So we can get that nice rounded edge. So we can cut a hole in a block with this.
Good prices, wow. Thanks. Curious, how are you handling the other side of the shell mag? It's currently flat and that would leave one side without detail on printing.
What you mean the other side of this? Which I've already done.
See a resin print of Reborn's MG Gundam, it looks cool, but I have to paint.
Yeah, that's the only problem with 3D printing. You'll have to paint it. But yeah, yeah, I do everything symmetrically, so I do it all at the same time. This piece here is one block, so this detail bit is one block, like is wider than this bigger block. Ah, didn't see that it was raised. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I did think that what you thought was like, what is there? So what I do is I do like a whole through block. So this was the first detail I added to this block before any of this other stuff, as you can see. I should rejoin that to it now. There we go. So what I'm trying to do now is get a rounded edge to these. And the best way of doing that is making a negative with this piece. Let me just copy this here. Just make sure that's the same piece here. Right, I'm going to turn that upside down. Cool. What's the height of this? 5. Right, let's make this 5. And line them up. And then I just need to make this the same diameter as that. I love doing guesswork. There you go. And if I won't group them together yet. Just want to make sure that this angle here is what I want. She runs for you. Different. Easy. But yeah. So if we're looking here. We've got these like smoothed off edges, so I'm going to try and create a negative. If I could just bring this right in. Could just reduce the inside diameter like that. Whee. I suddenly looked for a lot of the stream while I was. What's that? Oh, talking about Diablo 4. Oh god, that game. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is get a square block. Basic shapes, square block. Oh, don't magnetize it. Right. I'm just gonna find that there it is. 0. Cool. Okay, then I'm gonna center that with this. Just turn that into a hole, then group these together. Takes a little while because I'm doing so much now. Then turn this into a hole. Interesting. How's that happened? Ah, Sonic, delete. I'll work out a different way. There's more than one shape I can do that with. What's going on here? You're all chatting.
I saw a sign of the princess is proper happy. She's been going savage speed on it. She's got up today, stared at me for an almond, ate one, then went to Zuma for half an hour. Need to hook it up to Orford, Jenny, and battery system. Let's say, for example, I broke something on a Gundam. Could you 3D print a replacement? Would that work? Yeah, if I knew exactly what the part was. Here's some replacement eyes for the FM aerial. Because people complained that they couldn't get it because it was solid. And they weren't see-through, so people wanted see-through eyes to put LEDs behind, so I designed some so you can 3D print. You can find it on my Colts 3D. Same with some HG polycaps. I redesigned HG polycaps. This will probably be my best shape. Massive, but it does the job. Just reduce the diameter a bit. There. Might get a little neon sign in future. Ooh, a little sign that has it. Hello, just popping in to get some advice on whether or not I should watch Twitch Mercury Prologue before the main series. Yeah, do so. It'd be worth it. Right, this is meant to be a wheel, but I'm going to use it for the angle. Make it hollow, just so I can see what I'm doing, see what I'm cutting. Okay. So I can already tell I need to increase the size a bit. Let's go 12.5. Unanimous yes. Guess I'll watch that tonight and continue with season 1 tomorrow. Yeah. It makes a lot of things make sense. So it's definitely useful to do. Oh, that is perfect actually. Right, let's copy that. And do it on the other side. About there should do it. Cool. Interesting. Let's try that again. There we go, that's better. Look at that. Much better. Should be there on dub now too, if you prefer. More of a sub guy. If you want to see the first season, if you haven't already looked, the best place is Gundam Info. They got the best on YouTube. Gundam Info got the best quality. They got all season 1 and the prologue on there. I think they actually did the entire season as a mini movie on Gundam Info. They do subs,
So I watched most of the original first season. The second season I'm using a different thing. Right. Now we've done the outside, we're now going to do the interior. So first things first is I need to know, so it's going to be 1 mil all the way around, okay. Let's join all this together. So it's 1. Make us whole. Don't worry about these little lines here, that they just show up sometimes, because the program is struggling to keep up with what I'm doing.
Gundam Info YouTube are the official place to get it, yes. Only with anime can you get away with saying I'm more of a sub.
Well, I'm not, but maybe you are. Cool. 90 degrees. So if we know this is 11.9, we want the one diameter all the way around. We want it to be 9.9. Oh, not that way, that way. Because we did it, if we did 1 millimeter, so we want this to be 1 millimeter thick all the way around. If we did it differently and we wanted it to be 0.5, it'd be, so you've got to take 2 off the actual size. Two point 2.25. Cool, we're well on our way. From the next hole. I'm just going to undo that hole. Control TV, make a copy. Just so it's just less hassle than trying to get one out of there and lining it all that. I'm going to go with 8. So how's everyone doing? What you been up to? Other than Diablo. Blizzard's Activision latest big game. Cool. Now all we need is the veins out the back here.
Already wanting to build something, but must persist. So, along with wanting one of these for my own PGU, I'll be interested in an RG scale stand for Zazabi, either the Xeon emblem or Char's emblem, just to replace a basic action piece. I currently have it on, and to fit more with the RG new optional parts, Amarol's emblem base Something RG knew it is using. Huh. I think I have those symbols somewhere. It wouldn't be too hard to make a base that you just slot on. So I could make a base. Like you could slot one of these on, like the action base 5, or I could make a base like, hold on. I could make a base like this, where you put the action base stand, it slots into like a square in the center. So you could just use the standard one of these and just slot it into that. Make a base, makes 5. So yeah, it's not hard. Could be done. But yeah, so this, at the moment, this is in 1/100 scale. All this is 1/100 scale. This is a 1/100 3.0 bazooka from my Gundam Base 3.0 RX-78-2. But you'll be able to upscale it. I'll be able to upscale it to 160 for my PGU, and I'll upscale it for my mega size too. So I've got mega size as well. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. We just want to make these veins and we're done with, and then align this up and there and we're done with that piece. Not bad for a night's work. And probably the last bit of the next stream on next Saturday will be these and that. Maybe the Xeon emblem would be more stable. Char's emblem is a bit off center and squiggly. Yeah, but so is Amaru's. So yeah. It depends which Amaru symbol you use. Do you use his signature symbol, or do you use the unicorn high new symbol or new symbol? But the Xeon emblem is quite sturdy. Yeah, you can actually buy an action-based Xeon emblem, but they're hard to come by now. I was lucky to get the EDFS one, Earth Defense Force. Or Earth Defense Space Force. I was lucky to get that one because they are rare. All depends on where you put it, how you align it. .25. Right, let's copy this. Where's that keep moving? 77, I want 7. It's one that came in the optional part P band, I said. The triangle icon rather than the unicorn type. I see. Yeah. We could do that. Because what I'll probably do it the same way I made the badges. So if you look on my 3D coats page, which is linked in down the description, and sometimes pops up in the chat. On there, I made a bunch of pin badges that you can print off and make into your own pin badges, all of them different emblems. And what I did for them, I could easily do for a base. I'll be retiring my Hainu in a few weeks. Probably only keep him for custom shield and gun for it. Maybe the expansion shield. You can have him. Oh, fair enough. I'll take him. Give him a loving home. If it doesn't feel too rejected.
I'm just going to go one that way and then extend it. Yeah, 5. Let's go with 6 then. Just be on the safe side. Not ready. Cool. So I need 2 of those. Cool. So what is the distance between there? Because I'll just put it in a box with all my other Gundam spares, and it'll eventually get built into something. So I've big boxes, and I've got more coming of just better bits to manipulate and turn into stuff. So I'm just grouping these together so they stay together. So I can then just do this and align them a lot easier. There we go.
Plus the other retired kits can go with him, you know. The Aussie stain, just as a reminder to never get scalped again.
I doubt you'll ever retire your heavy arms, will you? Don't want to worry, I've got one coming. Just a standard heavy arms. Right, so we've got all this sorted now. So we've done quite a bit of it. There is, if you're looking, I don't know if you can see on this, there is detail in it. How difficult would it be to make a 3D relief nameplate? Possible clear resin. Unfortunately, I don't use clear resin because it's a pain in the ass to work with. I've got ABS and water washable at the moment, but I could design a nameplate for someone else to print for you quite easily. Depending if you want it to be embossed or like indented, like these holes, or if you want it to be like the other way. But yeah, I could do either way easily. I think it's a regular heavy. I can't remember exactly. You know what? Why don't we have a look? We go to my favourite place to shop. I should stop shopping because I'm spending too much money here. Alright, it was that one. This one. And it looks like it's the original kit to original print. Still sealed. I'll never let my costume go because it cost me like 170 quid. Argils are rare. Find from a friend in the USAC stationed Japan, but my regular heavy arms is like an extra. Yeah, that's for normal heavy arms. I have one spare really if you want to get extra parts. Yeah. I had something in mind for it. Yeah, so that's coming in a package. So that pack has just been sent from Japan. The package also has one of these. Nice ale strike. I think it was also coming with one of whatever this is. I can't remember half the shit I buy, you know. Oh, there you go. I've got one of those coming. You can see how much I paid for it.
I've had the extra hairy arms since I got the Igil. I didn't realise it was a full kit. I thought it was an expansion set.
Oh. I see. Where's the one that I got Rick? Sent for Rick. Ah, this is it. So this is one that's got Rick's special thing in. But it's, I had to send this by surface, unfortunately, so I won't be here for a few months yet. But I got one of these spare in it. This is classed as a junk lot. So I like perusing this because it's good for pre-owned stuff. Or, you know, hard to find stuff. What's this one? Oh yes, this is the... I've been looking for one of these for bloody ages. It is the GM Sniper 2. Love the MS. Couldn't find it anywhere until just now. So managed to get me one. And what are these? Oh, waifu kits. So I forget what I buy half this time. So when it comes, it's like a nice surprise. What's this one? Oh, it's another. It's a Dark Magician girl. Might sell that. Unless your wifey wants a Dark Magician girl, V, to build. And this is what I got Rick. Got some damage on the corners, but nobody cares. I love that, I know. Oh, I want that. Cannon is the best. But I have my... Yes, so the Origin comes with a shoulder cannon. Whereas 3.0 doesn't. 3.0 is just like the normal RX-78. Because I've got a 3.0 right here. And this is a 3.0 Bazooka. But mine's a Gundam base one. And his is the Ichiban Kuji one. The Gundam base one's blue. Right, what I'm going to do here is, for the last bit, is try to create some veins. There's like a load of veins inside here. So what I'm going to do is just take this, Control CV. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of this by, let's say just go to 1. And then I'm going to ungroup these two. It's going to be a bit difficult to do this. Basically, I'm just going to do that. Turn them 45 degrees. God damn it, I hate this sometimes. Doesn't want to play ball sometimes. So yeah. So Control CV. What I want to do is try to adjust. So I'll have them overlapping like that. and centered, like so. Leave that for a sec. So what I'll do then next is just take these, group them, if I copy them, do the exact same thing. Gotta be careful when you select all, because you might select something behind it. Then what I do is put it in here. Well, first thing I'm going to do is align it with this. And then I'm going to align it with this. See where it gets us. There we go. Perfect. You sent me for one that I love most. Don't even worry about that. Read me like a book. Just gonna check if I've still got the Gatler and ammo box for the heavy arms. I've got him set up in last stand combat mode. Alright. Wanted me to scroll up. Let my question get spare parts if you really want extra parts, yet. Love that, I want that, and love. Yeah, cool. I'm caught up with chat. Right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to just group everything together now. So we've done the exhaust. This is the exhaust done. So now we're going to attach this to this. So I'm going to get my alignment blocks. I'm going to turn this 90 degrees first. There we go. So, get my alignment block over here. And then we're going to take that out. Going to get what length is from there to there. 34.66. Align it with this. Cool. So then we get this and this to align, like so. And then we align this with this piece here. And there we have it. Yeah, still gotta rather have a good home. Ideal is just for heavy arms on steroids anyway. The Origins will have a shelf slot. Cool. I'll send the ammo ribbons as well. They're like rare gold. Fair enough. So I'm not too worried about this clip in here, because if I wanted to, I could just do this. And what we'll do then is we'll group this with this. So I'm making this all one piece, so it's just easier to print. And then what I'll do is grab the entire thing, like so, group it. There we go. There we have it. We have that entire piece. So, what? How long have I been on? 3 hours? There's your prologue. And I can say I'm now very interested. That's good. G-Witch does have a good story. Drags on a bit. Nice one. Thank you very much, Lilith. Wizard's Magic. Yes. If you ever read For Tempest, you'll kind of get the story of Witch from Mercury. So we now have the magazine with 4 rounds to go in there. I don't need that piece anymore, we'll delete that. So yeah, so all we've got left to do now, with that done, I'll just attach that to that. So what I'll do is, to attach these together, I'll just drill a hole and pin it with some paper clip, just to keep it all together. But yeah, now the next thing to do is just the top rail, which sits on the top here, like so. And a pistol grip, and this little piece here, which allows it to be put into the back of a skirt. It's a tiny ass piece. This just allows you to put it in a skirt. I'm not that cultured. Okay, beggar. But yeah, so this rail I'm going to do as one piece. Just makes it easier for printing. The less pieces I have to print, easier is when putting it together. That's why I'm also making a single piece one as well. So got this separate. This will also be added to this to make a full piece. But yeah, same with these. I'll be adding these to here. Well, probably not. But yeah. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for everyone joining me tonight. Thank you V, Pega, Lilith, Gar. I'm trying to remember everyone who joined in today. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. I'll probably see you Saturday. If not, I'll probably see you on one of Rick's streams. Until then, bye for now. You softy.